Good evening, everybody. I'm done with work for the day. Duncan is closing tonight. And I had just texted Duncan to say, why am I so exhausted after these work days? Like, I'm only working 8 to 9 hours a day. And he texted back, he's like, because it's mentally exhausting, which my temp job totally is. And I mean, I've worked long days when I used to manage a restaurant, and that's physically and mentally exhausting. And when I just had my last job, my travel days, sometimes it would be like a 3 hour, travel time, and then I'd work all day, and then yeah, and then I'd go back to the hotel and work more at night. So I've definitely worked my share of 12 to 16-hour days, and even that doesn't feel as exhausting as these 8 to 9 hours do. It's crazy to me. I've never had such a hard time jumping into a to-do list. I mean, nobody likes to do chores, right? But a lot of the stuff I do after work is for like my travel agent stuff and my LuLaRoe stuff, and I find that stuff fun. So it should be easy for me to jump into it, but I am tired. So that being said, I'm going to read a couple pages of the book I'm reading. I am managing to keep up with my 2021 reading challenge, and I just finished book 2. So I'm on to book 3. So I'm going to read maybe 10 minutes just to reset my brain, and then we're going to be productive. And I don't know how much we're going to film today because, like I said, Duncan closes, but I know there's quite a bit of Disney stuff we want to discuss. So stay tuned. Daily Disney for January 14th from Wally. The sounds of Wally come from Academy Award-winning sound designer Ben Burtt, who has created many iconic movie sounds, including R2-D2 and the lightsaber.
What?
Look who's home.
Finally.
What's your sound today? Tell him what happened.
Wah, wah. He's got really busy late. That's what happens when there's a youth football tournament with youth cheerleaders that we didn't know about.
There's youth things happening?
Uh-huh.
Is it like a
It's
club?
their Super Bowl.
That's a thing? I have so much to learn. Anyway, we've been waiting a couple days to share our opinions on some of the most recent Disney announcements.
Yeah.
First and foremost, no more Magical Express after
Dun, dun, dun.
at 2020. Now, it really doesn't impact us right now, so our opinion's kind of meh anyway. But as far as Magical Express goes, we were big fans. I'm never in a huge rush to get to my resort, so if we had to stop at another resort on the way, that was never a problem for us. More than loving the bus ride, I loved airport check-in at the resort. That was a bigger perk to me than the bus ride back. And none of those things are happening right now anyway.
And the lack of needing to lug your luggage.
Yeah. I mean, but that was kind of a pain in the butt too, because it wasn't always that efficient.
Yeah, there were times where we were like,
is it going to make it?
Is it going to make it?
Yeah.
Are we going to... Is there stuff, we would, come back before dinner and we'd be like, oh, our stuff's still not here. This is going to be really dicey if we don't get our stuff.
Right. So, I mean, and I think that's a lot of people's complaints about Magical Express. There's increasingly more and more people that had been complaining about Magical Express on the internet and saying, just take Uber, you'll get there so much more efficiently, which is accurate. Because you could go straight to your resort. But I think it's kind of the same thing as Magic Bands because they offered paid Magic Band options and people bought them out. Yeah. So guests showed them that they were willing to pay for Magic Bands, and now by using minivans and
Uber and Lyft.
yeah,
And
we showed them that we were willing to pay. Now, I mean, I think that's one tiny part of it. I have no idea. But if you didn't know, Disney Magical Express was run by Mears, contracted by Disney. And I suspect they probably wanted more money because, as a bus company with a lack of travel, they're probably impacted pretty hard financially by the pandemic. So I'm guessing there's somebody wanted more money.
they released something, Mears did, about like other airport shuttle options for them discontinuing and only the pay options staying. So I also wonder if that's part of it too. Like they want to encourage people to use their pay options, so they also weren't going to sign a friendly contract.
Yeah. So,
And the train is coming.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure Disney has a plan, but honestly, there's really no need for a plan right now. First and foremost, not going away until the end of this year. Who knows what's going to happen in the world by then? And there's a ton of time to figure something out because I think the train is delayed too. So even if that's the plan, they're going to have, some kind of special deal to take the train from the airport to Disney Springs.
There's still going to be a gap.
Yeah.
A gap coverage that they're going to need.
And who knows if that's the only option that they're going to give. Maybe there's plans to bring some sort of service back. Who knows? But maybe they'll just run it themselves with Disney bus drivers instead of...
Only airport minivans.
Yeah. Who knows?
No all over the resort minivans. I could see that. Plunking a couple cast members at the airport.
But they won't call it minivans because they already officially retired that. But maybe that's a concierge level service included, and you have the option to pay X amount of dollars for a private transfer. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But I mean, I surely feel bad for the families that have the 3 car seats and all of that. But my main point in all of the outrage, which honestly I find hilarious because I know there's been a whole, obviously Disney World has become more popular to visit as time has gone on in the last 50 years. But there was a time where there was no Magical Express.
We had to figure out a way.
And it was actually in the last 20 years, there was no Magical Express. So I think we'll be okay. Families prior figured out how to do it. It'll all be okay. And I understand how it feels like Disney's taking a lot of things away. I really, truly do get that. But at the same time, so many of these services are not needed right now. So let's not freak out quite yet. Let's give it time. Second, what was the other one? Oh, Extra Magic Hours.
Oh, yeah.
Is retired. So
retired/adjusted.
Yeah. So Extra Magic Hours, the whole 1 hour earlier, whatever. It hasn't been 3 hours.
Early, X amount of time late.
Yeah. It hasn't been consistent for a couple years anyway.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's been less frequent.
Yeah. So I think this was coming before COVID, honestly. Now the option is to all the parks open early, 30 minutes early.
For resort guests.
Every day. I don't think it's going to stay that way, honestly. But I think this decision is for 2 reasons. One, it costs a lot of money to have all the attractions open. And I know not all of the attractions were open, but a lot of them were. And so that's a lot of cast members to pay to open the attraction, because you have to have X amount of cast members to open the attraction, because they have quite the lengthy checklist to go through every morning. Plus, then, depending on if Extra Magic Hours are busy, you're paying that cast for X amount of time. Same with at night. Now, the night ones seem to be a lot more busy.
Yeah.
So maybe that one's a little bit more worth it, but then you're still paying transportation cast members X amount of hours to wait around.
Hour,
yeah.
2.
So I get it. I think that is a cost-cutting measure.
I also think there's a guest dissatisfier in that. In the early hours, let's be real, not everybody reads what's open, what's not open. So when you say Hollywood Studios is going to be open an hour early, and then they go to Smuggler's Run and it's not open because it's going to open at Park Open, that's the only reason they went. You know what I mean? This is why I wanted the extra hour. On the flip side, what happens if a ride that's supposed to be open can't open on time? Now I got up an hour early and I showed up and now the ride's not up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's as big of a thing. I mean, because I think it's hard to find out what was supposed to open, because they used to have lists on the Times guides
Yeah,
of what was supposed to be open, but it has slowly gone away. But I think, yes, Galaxy's Edge has certainly put a crimp in those plans, because some of these new rides need that extra maintenance time to test and adjust and all that stuff. And anyway, I certainly understand why it feels like that's a perk taken away. Now, us personally, we hated extra magic hours. Definitely took advantage of the nighttime ones when they were offered, especially when they would go to 3 a.m. We were those people that were there till 3 a.m. That being said, any other day, and even that day, we stayed away from that park because a lot of Disney people just go to that park because it's their perk, and then it's extra crowded. Why would I go for an extra hour in the morning when the rest of the day is going to be totally crowded, and I could just come the next day, go at regular park open, sleep an extra hour, and
have lower weights.
Yeah, so I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know extra magic hours is a very beloved perk of staying on property, which you will no longer have. And I feel like a little bitter that resort guests are getting a half hour early as a local, but at the same time, it's only a half hour, so it's really not going to do that much damage.
And like they said, it's every park, every day. So, I mean, even in the press release, it was about what you said, that like overcrowding of a park on an extra magic hour day. Now they're able to spread those crowds out between 4 parks every day. The perk is that you stay on property, you get that extra half an hour. Maybe you get Flight of Passage in before all the locals get in on a Saturday, and you can get in and get in that line 30 minutes earlier and either get it done or only have an hour wait, where instead of coming in and having like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah. Now, that leads to the outrage of that on the internet. My favorite thing from that day was to watch the dramatic comments come in. I get being angry. I do. It feels like if you really loved Magic Bands and now you don't get your free Magic Band, that feels like something that was taken away. Disney Magical Express is taken away. Fast passes aren't a thing right now. Disney Dining Plan isn't a thing right now. I get it. So the question everyone's asking is, why do you stay on property? Honestly, I hate to be a little sassy about this, but like, don't stay on property. I don't know. Like, if you're that mad about these decisions, show them.
If your justification for the bump in price over like an Airbnb was all those perks, go stay at the Airbnb.
Yeah. We won't be mad. Disney won't be mad. And they might be mad.
I mean, they might be mad.
But
they'll
isn't that the point?
They'll figure out a way to bring you back to get you to spend that extra money.
Yeah. I mean, not even that. I mean, if enough people are as mad as the internet made it seem the other day, don't stay there. And if enough people do that, maybe something will change. But honestly, Disney people are Disney people, and they continue to go back. And I mean, I'll fully admit we're those people. Now, we are not impacted by a lot of these decisions, so it's easy for us to sit here
on a soapbox.
Yeah. But at the same time, we are in the parks every week, so we see how different everything is. And I certainly wouldn't recommend a first-time visitor to come right now. But it's also a great time to visit. there's no magic.
Yeah. They took away the magic.
They took away the magic. And like, and maybe magic is to each person something different. That's my opinion. Like, maybe magic to you is hugging Mickey Mouse, and that's not happening right now. And there's really no replacement from that. I mean, you can see him in a cavalcade or see him on the train station, and maybe hugging the characters was your magic. Or maybe seeing the fireworks with your family is your magic, and that's not happening right now. So I get it. But I feel like a lot of the magic is missing comments comes from cast member interactions, which honestly, I could probably go on a whole another soapbox, and maybe we'll have to do that someday.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah. And while I don't necessarily disagree that there are some less than stellar cast interactions right now, there's also a ton of magical ones. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't think the magic is missing because you make the magic what it is. It's what you believe is magic that makes the magic happen. So maybe right now the magic is gone for you, but that doesn't necessarily it's gone for everybody. So that's our thing. Lastly, on a positive note,
you got real big.
Yeah, because I'm really excited. The Muppets tweeted something's coming.
Big announcement.
That's all we got. So, is it a new show? I kind of hope it's not a new show because their last...
The last 3 TV shows that they've tried to do have not been great.
No.
Except for Muppet Babies.
I haven't seen the new Muppet Babies. I didn't even give it a chance. I am a big fan of the original Muppet Show. I would watch that any day over most of the new shows.
And we did look, and the original Muppet Show is not on Disney+.
It's not on Disney+. So we think it's a Disney+ thing, but I don't think it's a Disney+ exclusive thing because they already have the new Muppets show on there. I don't think it's doing very well. Plus they have those Muppet
Shorts.
The Muppet Short. Yep. No. Is that what?
I think that's what it's called.
Muppets Now I thought was a TV show.
Oh, maybe. Those Muppet Shorts.
Yeah. The ones where they talk to the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I another part of me wonders, is this going to time up with the closing of the Hall of Presidents to bring in a Biden audio animatronic? Would they really tweet about a Walt Disney World thing? I don't know. Like, could it be like Sam Eagle's going to tell us the history of America? Is it going to be Muppets do Hamilton? Is it just going to be like an interactive show like Laugh Floor, where it's the Muppets that have been up, like, talking to you?
In the Liberty Square?
Yeah, in the show. I don't know. I mean, it could not be theme park related at all, but it could be. Like, it's been heavily rumored that Muppets are going to do something else in Liberty Square. And also the Liberty Square Market is under refurb right now, so could that be related? I don't know. But, like, could it be another movie? I mean, because I don't think Muppets Most Wanted did very well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. The Muppets was great. But
Second Muppets was not great.
Yeah. I don't really want another Muppet movie unless it's What's-His-Face.
Jason Segel.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they'll just leave all of Columbia Harbor House's stuff in Tomorrowland Terrace, and then they can just rip up all of that, and they can just put Muppets everywhere.
A Muppet ride.
They could move the Muppets section of Hollywood Studios and just pick it up, put it right on Liberty Square, call it a day.
That's a terrible idea.
That leaves more room for Star Wars. And then you could connect Star Tours.
That's a terrible idea. Let's hope that's not true.
Ah.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion doesn't fit in Fantasyland or Muppet Land.
Not until you put
and what happens
a ghostly Muppet.
Oh my gosh. What about Liberty Tree
journey.
Tavern?
There's still some Muppets in there. It's fine.
Oh my god, no.
Yes.
That's definitely not it.
Yeah, Muppet character meal.
No. There's a reason why Mama Melrose is there and not the Swedish Chef's restaurant. But anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think it is? And are we crazy? Because I know they've been trying to make Muppets happen and Muppets aren't happening. So are we just too old? and we're trying to make the Muppets happen, and we should
Muppets a
stop
thing.
trying to
I
make Muppets.
I want the Muppets to be a thing.
Yeah, anyway, this is such a long clip. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. I hope we didn't offend you. We would love to hear your opinions. And stay tuned because we got a lot more Disney stuff coming your way.
Thanks for coming to the show! What did he say?